Hello and welcome to our discussion on CSE Name Your Style. Now in science, especially in biology, we do not use MLA or APA. So if this is a style that you're used to, this is going to be something a little bit different. But you do need to follow and adhere to these formatting requirements for your citations in your writing assignment. So CSE is the Council for Science Editors. The Name Your Style is one of 3 styles that CSE is going to be producing. So within this, you want to make sure that you're paying attention on how to cite your references, and you do it by hand. Do not use an automatic reference system or an automatic reference online tool. You need to do it by hand if you want to do it correctly. There will be heavy-handed deductions in terms of points on your final draft if you do not cite your sources correctly. Now remember, you need to cite all of your sources within both the body of your paper and at the end of your paper. This gives credit where credit is due. Here's the information on how to cite a single author, 2 authors, more than 2 authors, and websites. So you can either cite within the sentence, you can cite at the end of the sentence, or you can also cite at the end of each and every paragraph. But at minimum, you need to cite all your sources at the end of each paragraph. If there's 2 authors, you simply put the last name of the first author, the last name of the second author, and the year that the publication was published. If there's more than 2 authors, then you can use et al. Et al. Is going to be Latin for and others, and you just put the first author's last name, and then et al. Meaning others, and then the year. With this, you only use et al. Within the body of the paper. When you get to your literature cited section, which will be at the end of your paper, you use all of the authors listed. You never use et al. At the end in your literature cited paper. You only use it in the body of the text. Here's how do you cite websites. You don't want to include the entire URL, you just include the root URL. So for example, worldwildlifefund.org and the year that it was accessed. For our literature cited section, I went ahead and highlighted some areas just so we're clear on what I'm asking of you. In your particular references, you do not need to highlight, of course, and you also want to make sure that each individual reference is single spaced, but you have a double space in between each individual reference. So the authors will always go first. Do not alphabetize the authors that are presented in your journal paper. You want to put them in the order that they are written. The first author is a very prestigious place to be in any article, and you want to make sure that that first author is always given proper credit. So the last name will be first, so it's last name, comma, and then first initials, whether there's 1 or 2, then you're going to place a period and then a comma, and then your second author's last name, comma, and their first initials, and then a comma, and then this is for 3 authors, but you put as many authors as there is, and you put the last name and the first initial and a period. This is going to be the year in which this journal was published, here in purple. So yellow is going to be our authors, in purple is going to be the year it was published. In dark blue, this is going to be the name of the article, the name that is going to be at the very top, the title of that article, and the area in red is going to be the publication in which it was published. Whether it was a journal or was it a book, this is going to be that title of that publication. The area that's going to be in this light blue, this is going to be the volume number. The area in the dark green is going to be the issue within those parentheses. Most times if it's a journal, you will find a volume and an issue number. If there's only one, then that's okay. Just put whatever is available to you. Then a colon, and then these are going to be the page numbers. You're going to put the entire, for that journal paper, this first page and the last page, not just the page that you got the information from. You're going to tell us what the entire breadth of that particular article will be, and then a period at the end. For a book, here's that same information. Here's the authors, there is the year, there is the title of the book, there is who published that book and the location, and this is how many pages were total in the book. You only use PP in a book, and you use it at the end. If there's a website, and now websites, you only use the website citation for when it's like epa.org or noaa.gov. So if it's something that is not published anywhere else, it's just a website, that's the only time you cite a website in CSE Name Your format. When you are downloading a journal paper from a database, something like JSTOR or Science Direct, you do not put the URL because it is not a website. Even though you are using the internet to access these journals. Those journals are in print somewhere. You're just not looking at the printed copy. You're looking at the electronic copy. But those journals are cited as a peer-reviewed journal here. So the only time that you use a website is if it is only living as a website. It's not published anywhere else. So here is going to be the organization or the group that is hosting the website. Here is the name or title of that particular page or article that you're looking at. Here is the date that it's published. Sometimes you won't find a publication date on a website. This also can be the date that you accessed it. That will mirror this date right here. And then this is going to be the full URL located here. So anytime that you get something from, we're in JSTOR right now, and you do your search, and anything that, even though I'm online and I'm using an internet source, these are all printed copies. So anytime that I get these articles, I'm going to treat it as a printed copy. Now if I go to something like noaa.gov, this is going to be a website. This is anything that I get off of this, unless it's an official publication, is going to be considered as a website web source. So this is a website. This is going to be journal articles. So I do not use a URL on a JSTOR or Science Direct publication, but I would use an URL on something like noaa.gov. Hopefully this will clear up any concern or confusion about CSE Name Your Style, and I wish you happy writing.